what's interesting is that I had a first happen to me. I've always believed that you need to own the products you're selling, okay? And I rolled all of Janice's IRA money over into the Prime Elite a little over a year ago. And I had a client yesterday, day before yesterday, that I was closing a pretty good sized deal with. And I had told him, I said, we're comparable age. I recommend, I've done it. I've done it myself. I pay the same anybody else does, and I recommend you do the same thing. And yesterday morning he said, I hate to ask you this, but you said that you have this too. I said, yes. He said, well, would you mind if I saw it? I said, I don't have to look at the amounts, but I said, I wouldn't mind at all. I'd be happy to show it to you. Well, I get it, and I hang the phone up, and I start laughing after I hang the phone up. I've never, except for myself, I've never had anybody have the boldness to ask. I did. A guy was selling me a health insurance policy. He told me that. I said, well, just, I believe you, I trust you, everything, but it would give me more peace of mind if I saw your own policy. And he brought it in. Well, that's the only time. I was the only one. I'd never known that he'd done that. And so when we met yesterday morning, he came in first, and I said, friend, when I got off the phone with you, I started laughing because I was sitting there thinking that next to myself, you're the only person I've ever had that's had enough to do that. And he said, well, actually, it wasn't me, it was Nina. She was sitting next to me. I said, oh, then I don't want to give you credit for it. And the door opened and it was his wife. And I said, no, I was just about giving Fred the credit for having the boldness to ask her that. I said, when I started laughing, anyway, I thought that was funny. I want to start with the VA presentation. And one of the things that I say when we sit down, I say, at this point in time, we've been, and I'll talk to them like, you've been through a point in time in the last 10 years where you've seen the market go way up, way down, way up, and that we've had major fluctuations in the marketplace. We are no longer at an age where we can handle radical drops in the market. And we have a product that will guarantee you a minimum of 5% growth compounded for each of the next 10 years, okay? Or the upside of the market, whichever is greater. Now, it sounds too good to be true, I know, and it would be too good to be true if it were free, but I want to kind of share with you the evolution of the product and kind of a little bit about how this came about. Primerica, and these are clients of mine, typically I go back to say, but if I have new people, I'd say the same thing. We are the largest distributors of financial products now in North America. With that, comes tremendous leverage. We're sort of the tail that wags the dog. I like to tell people we're the Walmart of the financial services business, and regardless of what a person's opinion Walmart is, they simply developed a better way to distribute consumer products at a more affordable price than anybody in the world. And today, who's the leading retailer in the world? Exactly. And we've become the same thing in the financial services business. And I like to use the illustration, John and Mary. I've got a friend of mine that has a cabin near mine, and he owns a manufacturing company. He just sold it in the last 12 months, but he manufactured trunks, like toy chests, like quilts, those types of things. He manufactured them in China, imported them, but he had global distribution of those trunks. He only had one customer, but that customer happened to be Walmart. Now let me ask you a question. When Walmart would call him and say, we like your trunk, but we want you to change the dimension. Instead of being 32 inches tall, we want it to be 31 inches tall. And instead of using the gold hardware on it, the gold plated, we want you to use brass hardware. Now, how do you suppose he would respond to them when they made that request? Aye, aye. Absolutely, because they're the tail that wags the dog. They're responsible for his global distribution. We're the same way with financial products, and we have companies call on us desiring to include their products in our distribution channel. As far as annuities go, and I always cover this with annuities guys, because you can read a lot of information, and I will bring this up. Now this is not, I'm kind of deviating from the script, but I always bring it up. I said, you know, Scott Burns, who writes an article, writes a column in the Dallas Morning News, he's always negative on annuities. And his point is that annuities are more expensive than a portfolio of mutual funds. And you know what? He's absolutely true. Absolutely. And if you're just looking at expenses, it's foolish for a person to put money in an annuity. However, the same person who says never, never, never put money in an annuity, instead of driving a Kia, which is the cheapest automobile you can drive for transportation, he drives a Lexus. So if he's just looking for transportation, why in the world would you spend more money than what you would have to pay for a Kia if you're just looking for transportation? He wanted more than that. And if you're looking for additional value, if the product is providing something for you that is worth the additional expense, it's good. But if it's not, it's a negative. Now, I bring this up because historically, I've not been bullish on annuities. They're probably, with the cash value life insurance product and the annuity product, there have been more inappropriate sales of those two products than just about any financial product in the marketplace. The challenge that I've always had, and we have a huge client base, is that when I sit down with a young couple, they're in their 20s, 30s, and they're funding an IRA in a fixed annuity. Well, number one, an IRA grows tax deferred. Annuities grow tax deferred. If you have your IRA in a portfolio of mutual funds, it grows tax deferred. If you're in an annuity for your IRA, you're paying an additional fee for something you get anyway. It's like wearing a suspenders and a belt at the same time. It's the only reason that would ever occur is because it pays the broker or the advisor a higher fee than it does a portfolio of mutual funds. That is an inappropriate application of the product. Where we use annuities in our company, and our company is very hard line on doing what's right for the client. There's no such thing as 3 strikes and you're out. You better put the client's interest up front, paramount number one, or you won't be licensed with us. I mean, we play hardball as it relates to that. Historically, where annuities have been very appropriate, have been if an individual had fully funded their qualified retirement plans, and IRAs or 401ks, and they had additional money that they wanted to shelter, tax shelter, and earmark for retirement. An annuity is an ideal vehicle. I've always felt it was foolish to pay taxes on money you don't plan on using for many years, and an annuity will grow on a tax deferred basis. So it's appropriate there. But historically, just funding an IRA, systematic investment in an IRA and an annuity that's very inappropriate, and you could be severely reprimanded in our company. We're at a different stage in our life now. You're approaching your retirement years. I'm, approaching. I don't plan on ever retiring, but I'm certainly at that age. And the preservation of what we've gained is important, and making sure we don't lose what we have and having an increasing income. And I want to share with you what happened with the first. Let me explain the evolution of this product. MetLife approached us. MetLife is the largest manufacturer of annuities in the world, and they wanted us to include their product in our distribution channel. We were offering an annuity that was underwritten by the Equitable. It was a satisfactory annuity. It was a good product, and MetLife's product did not bring any distinct differential advantage to us over the product we had, and we said, we're not interested. And they continued to woo us and continued to woo us, and finally, in frustration, they said, look, you design the product, you let us determine if we can bring what you want to market, and if we can, would you consider a change? And at that point, we said, yeah. And so we laid out conditions that would be very favorable. not expecting them to meet everything, but they did. And they came back and they said, we think we can make this work if the volume is there. And within 90 days, we were doing about 60% of their annuity business. Now, the great part of the product, and one of the distinctions is that this is a proprietary product. MetLife cannot sell this product through any of their other distribution channels. You can't call a MetLife agent and buy this product from them. It's exclusively through the Primerica distribution channel. It has unique features. It has features that are not available in the marketplace. Okay, there are a couple of products that have similarities that do provide a guarantee and an upside and market participation. One of the distinct differences of those in the marketplace is that if you have the rider that gives you market participation, the sub-accounts that you are very limited within the annuity. You're restricted to a very conservative grouping of those funds. This product is what you call open architecture. You can be as aggressive as you want to. Quite honestly, for many people, while you're leaving that money alone, if you know the worst you're going to do is a +5, I'm fairly aggressive for the first 10 years. And then they begin to withdrawals. I don't want to take apart the watch and put it back together. You probably don't want to know all that much about it. But this product is unique. It is not available in other places. You get break points in this product, much the way you do in a mutual fund. The more money you put in, the lower the fees. That's normally not the case in an annuity. You can put in $10,000 or $5 million, and the mortality expense fees are the same. This has a decreasing expense charge. So let me kind of explain how this works and what the distinct differences are in an annuity and the options that we have. And historically, when a person reached retirement, they had a couple of options. They could take their money in a lump, or they could take it in the form of a pension. Now, quite honestly, we don't see many pensions anymore. Our parents had pensions. Maybe people that were high-level executives, corporate executives that are retiring, some of them have pensions, but it's pretty much the thing of the past. The 401k has taken over and taken the place of company-funded pensions. Now, the way that there are pluses and minuses of both, though. The benefits of a lump is that you get your money in a lump. You get the cash when you retire. Okay. If you want to go, buy a motor home and travel the world, or buy, a lake property, you got the cash. You can go pay for it. All right. You have the flexibility. You can invest. You can take it and invest it wherever you want to. You do that. I've got handouts for this, you guys. I've got handouts for this, so you don't have to. They're right up here. So, exactly what I'm showing. Here, I'll do it. If you invest it, the market goes up, you've got an increasing income, and it's a way to keep pace with inflation. It goes along with the market. And when you die, look at me, y'all. Just look at me. You'll get your seat. When you die, it goes to your heirs. Whatever you have, you've got a beneficiary of your qualified retirement. Whatever money you have left goes to your heirs. The benefit of a pension, it works differently, but it has different benefits. The benefit of a pension, it provides a stable, secure income stream. It is absolutely guaranteed. It is very easy to budget around because you know exactly how much money you have coming in each month. You're guaranteed to never run out of money. Okay? With every plus, there's also a minus. The downside of a lump is that when you invest it, if the market goes down, what happens to your ultimate income stream? It goes down. And we saw many people, if you remember the cow illustration where your dollar cost averaging, you're selling shares at a bargain basement price, and it can eat up your assets very quickly. And ultimately, you can run out of money. The downside of a pension is that it never goes up. And there are many of us in this room that remember when Jimmy Carter was president, we had inflation at 10 and 12%. There were people on fixed incomes who they were seeing their